Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, May 22nd, 2018. Read our disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice, not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you had a great long weekend if you live in Canada, and I know in the US your long weekend is coming up. It's such a nice time of year. Anyway, with that, let's get into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start my videos off with a look at the Russell Index. Why? Because I always want to make sure that I'm putting my new watch list picks forward in a rising market environment. And for that, I use the Russell Index, or the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000, as my proxy. So we're looking at the IWM on the 5-year monthly chart. I like that bigger picture monthly orientation. As you can see so far for the month of May, very bullish looking candle. We've been talking a little bit about the area that it's in. The top of the wicks from January, this was February, was a little lower. March and April, we've exceeded that. So we will see if we can maintain that strength, but I think it's just really important to keep that in mind. I took all my drawings away. The only thing that we have on the chart is this blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. So now I'm going to put my drawings back in. And I apologize, the chart does get a bit cluttery, but we're kind of ignoring this area down here for now. This is long-term support resistance, this is medium, and I'm really focusing on this black diagonal line and a little bit this pink one down here, which is more short-term. The black diagonal line is my most important line on my chart. Why? Because it held price in on the Russell through much of 2017, and then we had that breakout. Again, this is the monthly chart, up and over my black diagonal line. But as you can see, in February, March, and April, on the monthly chart, it couldn't close above this black diagonal. So far for me, we're looking good, but we still have a considerable amount of the month left. So we'll see how we end up. So let me move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. You can see these are the weekly candles, the same black line, and the way it's meandered. It kind of consolidated here for a while, but it is up and over the blue 8-day EMA on the weekly. And now I'm going to switch it over to the daily, 6-month daily, and you can see it's up and over the blue on the daily. Looking maybe a little extended to me, but we will see how what the market wants to do. But with that price strength continuing, I am putting a new chart forward this morning. And that chart that I wanted to feature for you this morning is Electro Scientific Industries, ticker symbol ESIO, trades on the NASDAQ exchange. For those of you not familiar with this company, Electro Scientific Industries is a supplier of laser-based manufacturing solutions for the microtechnology industry. If you know me at Chart of the Day Cafe, I am all about the scores underneath my charts, and ESIO has a really nice high value score, very nice, I should say. It's got a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 44%, a current PE of 9.35, and it does not pay a dividend. Normally I look for a dividend payer, but this one does not pay a dividend, but I really like the chart. So with that, let's get into it. We're looking at the 5-year monthly chart. You can see that it kind of meandered around here for a long time, but then it took off at the beginning of 2017 and had this beautiful move higher, and it's come into this area that may offer some support for continued price strength. We will see. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. Their past earnings, their earnings were on May 9th. I like the look of this candle right here from several weeks ago, defending our area of support, the orange line. The volume came in. It's been kind of consolidating sideways a little bit here, but the earnings looked pretty good. I like the chart construction in this area, so I'm keeping an eye on this one in this area, especially with those scores. So I'm going to move it away from the weekly to the daily. So here is that area around earnings where it kind of walked around a little bit. I would expect in a continued rising market environment that this one will start to lift into my green circle area. So I know everyone has their own way of doing things. What I look for is a 3 and 8 EMA cross. I'm just going to put that on. So you can see that it got that cross in this area here. Let me zoom it in. It still has that cross. It's squeezing in here, but what I would be looking for is a lift higher from this area and into my green circle. So I do not own this one. It's going on my watch list this morning, and I will look to see if it can get that strength and that move into the green circle. Along with my new watch list pick, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that I'm looking at XLK because ESIO is in the technology space. 5-year monthly chart of this ETF. You can see it consolidated here for a number of years in 15 and 16, but then took off and has been showing price strength ever since and continues to do so. Here's the 5-year monthly chart. Let's go over to the 6-month daily. We can see prices up and over that 8-day EMA, and it continues to show that strength. I also like to take a look at seasonality, and for that I go over to equityclock.com, which is an excellent site. Here is the seasonal chart for ESIO. As you can see, it kind of comes into seasonal favor in the latter part of the summer, August, so there's no guarantee this happens this year. It's always a data point that I like to know about. So I will not check the seasonal box when I go and recap today's video, but just wanted you to know that. I also like to take a look at analyst support for my new watch list pick, and for that I go over to FinViz, which is a terrific site to know about. And if you go down to the analyst section, you can see that ESIO has had some buy recommendations in March and January of this year, so always good to know. I'm also going to include an article about ESIO that I think is worth paying attention to as well. And so to quickly recap, I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall the Russell Index is in an uptrend and continues to show strength with price up and over the 8-day EMA on both the daily and weekly chart. We looked at the sector that ESIO is in, which is XLK, the ETF for the technology sector. It's in an uptrend on the 5-year chart and showing continued price strength. We looked at the 5-year chart for ESIO. It's in an uptrend and at an area of possible support and price strength continuation. Emphasis on possible. It's got a great value score. It's got an excellent growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 44%. It does not pay a dividend, so that box is not checked. It currently does have that 3 and 8 EMA daily cross that I look for, but I want it to go higher from here. Seasonality, I'll let you decide whether you want to check that box. I'm going to leave it unchecked for now. Analyst support, we went over to FinViz and we can see that it's had some recent upgrades. It's got a current PE of 9.35 and it looks as though their next earnings are on July 18th. Thank you for watching today's video. As a reminder, they go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Have a great next couple of days and we'll see you Thursday.